Hello, I'm John Broom with the Dalhousie Medical Research Foundation. This is part of a series of updates on some of the research taking place at Dalhousie University as it relates to the COVID-19 pandemic. This is part one of a two-part interview with Dr. Roy Duncan, a Dalhousie researcher and professor in the Department of Microbiology and Immunology. Alongside several collaborators at Dalhousie and across Canada, Dr. Duncan is working to develop and evaluate potential vaccines to help prevent COVID-19. Dr. Duncan, how exactly are vaccines created, and what does the process look like?
So there are multiple ways to make vaccines. You can the influenza vaccine that you see every year, that's made in eggs, and that's actually just one protein or two proteins, a small piece of the virus. So that's one way to do it. You can also use the entire virus and you can inactivate it. That works fine. And you can also take the virus and you can weaken it. So basically you get a crippled form of the virus that will still infect you, but it won't cause disease. And so those three basic ways, any of those ones will actually trigger an immune response that then allows you to recognize that virus the next time it comes in. Those are the standard approaches. There's a new approach out now that uses DNA. And in that case, instead of having to purify the virus or a protein from the virus to formulate into your vaccine, what we can do instead is use a piece of DNA, introduce that into people, and actually get the patient's own cells to make the viral protein that we're trying to mount an immune response. So those are the general approaches that you can use to make vaccines, and actually all four are being pursued at the moment to look at vaccines against COVID-19.
What point in the process are you at now with your work in search of a new vaccine candidate for COVID-19?
So we're actually making incredibly rapid progress, considering all of this started a couple of months ago. We're working closely with a company called Entos Pharmaceuticals. Entos Pharmaceuticals is an Edmonton-based company. They actually have a technology that they acquired that was developed at Dalhousie here, a technology that introduces DNA inside cells more efficiently. Entos acquired that technology and has actually now commercialized it and used it to deliver DNA to treat immune disorders, aging, and cancer. So what Entos wants to do is see, can they use their DNA delivery platform and use it for a COVID-19 vaccine. The idea behind this then, as I'd mentioned I think before, is that with DNA vaccines you can introduce the DNA inside patients and get patients to make their own, to make the protein against the virus that you're trying to vaccinate against. So the advantage in these DNA vaccines is they're very cheap. They're very easy to scale up. That's going to be a huge issue with vaccine production for COVID. How quickly can we manufacture enough doses to vaccinate the number of people we want to vaccinate? So DNA vaccines are fast, they're safe, they're non-toxic, they're rapidly scalable. And that's some of the advantages of them. And the other big advantage is that they activate two parts of the immune system. So one part of your immune system is designed to make antibodies that will stop the virus from infecting you. But the other part of your immune system actually activates your white blood cells, a subgroup of white blood cells called T cells. And when you activate T cells don't stop you from getting infected, but T cells actually help clear virus-infected cells. And so you clear the infection faster and you don't get as sick. And so the advantage in DNA vaccines is they arm both parts of the immune system. You can get good antibody responses and you can get good cell-mediated or good T cell responses. So Entos is using their DNA vaccine platform. They have formulated in multiple different pieces of the COVID-19 virus, the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So we're actually screening about 20 different vaccine candidates that Entos has formulated. They have a special delivery system that they can use to deliver DNA inside patients. Actually, Entos is working very closely with Health Canada and with the Canadian Centre for Vaccinology in Halifax here, because the next step after animal trials is you need to do a phase 1 human trial. You need to take a small number of human volunteers, treat them with the vaccine, make sure it's not toxic or doesn't cause any adverse effects, and start to take some look at whether it might work or not. We think we could be into human clinical trials in the next couple of months.
This concludes part one of our interview with Dr. Roy Duncan. If you'd like to hear more, check out part 2 on the DMRF Facebook page or at dmrf.ca/coronavirus. While you're there, you can find out more about the COVID-19 research DMRF donors are helping to support. And if you have any questions or concerns you'd like to share, or if you'd like to help, we'd love to hear from you at dmrf@dal.ca. Thanks for watching.